And we are under the umbrella again. I am currently reading The Abundance of Catherines by John Green. By finishing this book, I would have read everything by John Green thus far. I have finished Mockingjay, and I must say it wasn't my favorite Hunger Games book. I feel like Mockingjay's pacing could have been written differently, but it was definitely a really good book to end the series with. This past Saturday, my town was hosting a leukemia walk. It was a fundraiser for the American Leukemia Association, I think, to help treat patients with leukemia and their families. And my school was a sponsor, and they're asking students to do the walk, so I volunteered. I want to say that it was a very eventful night for me. Lots of organizations were helping out and donating like food, and there was this rock climbing thing. I've never rock climbed before, and it's one of the things that I've always wanted to do, so I was like, heck yes, I'm gonna rock climb. So I got strapped up, and Will, I don't know if you've ever rock climbed before, but it must be very uncomfortable for boys because the straps just are tight in the leg area. Use your imagination. Anyway, the wall didn't look very tall, but when I started climbing and I got halfway and I looked down and I was like, holy poop, this is high. I really wanted to get to the top so I could ring the bell, but my fear kicked in and I was just like, oh my goodness, I can't reach this next rock. This is just too much for me. I want to get down now. So I start saying to my friends and the rock climbing guy, I think I'm afraid of heights now. So then he was just like, just kick off, it'll be okay. And kicking off a wall with a harness, but you're not sure how it would feel, is pretty scary. But I did it anyway, and I was like, okay, that really wasn't that bad. While the rock climbing guy was unhooking me from the harness, he was like, are you really afraid of heights? And I said, no, it was just a really scary feeling, and I didn't think I could go on. And then he said, well, you should definitely try it again because now you know how it feels like. I'm definitely trying it again because I'm sort of kicking myself that I didn't finish it and I didn't get to the top and I didn't ring that stupid bell. Because usually I face my fears and I go for these things, but I chickened out and I really am kicking myself for it. After rock climbing, we ate and then we were hanging out, and then it was time for the balloon lighting experience. Each walker got these balloons, and there was 3 types of balloons. There was a red balloon which supported the supporter of the Leukemia Association, a white balloon which represented a current survivor of leukemia, and a gold balloon which represented in remembrance of a leukemia patient that died. Got a red balloon, and I want to say the lighting of the balloons was a really touching experience. I don't personally know anyone who has leukemia or survived or died from leukemia. Watching people light their gold balloons for their family members and their friends who died from leukemia and cry and talk about them, it was just really touching. And I think the part that really got me was when everyone lighted the white balloons, and there was this little girl, she couldn't have been at least 5 years old, and she was twirling on the stage with her white balloon, and you could tell she was surviving from leukemia, and she just looked so happy and full of life. It made me think how blessed I am to be healthy and to have a family who is healthy and isn't battling cancer. Then it made me think about how I was scared about that stupid rock climbing wall and how foolish and silly I was to be scared. I can't imagine the fear that that little girl feels every single day battling cancer. I can't imagine the worry and the fear that her parents feel. I just feel like I take life for granted sometimes. After the whole balloon lighting thing, we walked around this lake for 3 miles. It was lots of fun. It was definitely a bonding experience with my friends. And yeah, that's what I did this weekend. Well, this was a thing.